We've examined strokes in a lot of different ways, but there's another way that's kind of cool, and it's called a variable width stroke. So let's keep the new thing going again. And I'm going to use my favorite web 960/560. Click OK. Pick any size you want. Let's do this. Come over here and pick up your pen tool. Now we're going to use the pen tool before we actually get to the pen tool chapter. So this is kind of like a learner's permit. You might know how to use this tool anyway. But I'm going to click right about here, and I'm going to drag down like that. That's creating an anchor point. We'll talk more about that later. I'm going to get right about here straight below it and go the opposite direction. And I'm going to get down below it even further and go in the opposite direction again. I'm trying to create a stem. Now if I pick up my selection tool, there I go. That's going to be my stem. Kind of wonky, but that's all right. Come over here and pick up your ellipse. Draw yourself kind of like chunky one, kind of like that. Come over here and pick up the rotate tool. Click right on that top anchor and hold the Alt key down. Now what we want here for rotate is something that divides evenly into 360. So we're going to go to 15 degrees and click copy. Now press Control D over and over again until you go all the way around. You got a stem, you need a flower. Pick up your ellipse tool again. Get right on that centerpiece right there. Hold down the Alt key and drag out and create a little something about like that. You can hold the Shift key to make it nice and pretty and perfect circle. Let me turn that off. Okay, selection tool. Select everything. Go up to one of my favorite panels under Window, and that's Pathfinders. And click the first one called Unite. It puts everything together. Okay, let's close that. Select it. Open up your panels. Now I am in Essentials, and you are too, I hope. But you should have this color right here, which is actually a gradient. We're going to talk about gradients in another movie in this chapter. And go ahead and click that, and there's kind of like the beginning of our flower. Let's stop before we get in trouble and put it right up here. Pick up the ellipse tool again and draw yourself a nice little piece like about like that. Let's change the fill color to something more of a green. Pick up your pen tool and go down to Convert and select the bottom right here. Pick up the selection tool and bring it over somewhere around here. Go to a corner until you see the bent arrow and rotate it. You like the rotation? Stick it on the stem somewhere. Let me show you one more thing. Select it. Go over into your rotate tool and click and hold, and you're going to see reflect tool. Select that. Come over here and get right on that real corner point and hold down the Alt key before you click. Now make sure you have the leaf selected too. Click Preview. See, it's going to put it on the other side. Click Copy. Now this one needs to be a little bit different. So go back to the rotate tool. Click right on that point right there and make sure you have that second leaf selected, but don't hold the Alt key down. Just click. Now that sets where it rotates from. Now go anywhere else you want, click and drag, and put it something like that. All right, we've made a really strange looking flower just to get to where we need to be in this lesson, and that's variable width strokes. So I'm going to bring out my stroke panel right here. Stick it up here, click this button obviously right here, which is of course options, and get our stuff. You will notice the profile, if I select one of these, is uniform. I want you to come over here and pick up this tool right here. Now if you don't see that tool, it's with all these other tools. Right there. The width tool. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can kind of appreciate what's going on here. Go anywhere you want to on the line. Now if you're using smart guides, you're going to see side 1 and side 2 are 0.5, 0.5. Because the stroke's 1 point, so it's half on either side. And if we click and drag, watch what begins to happen. This is really cool. It begins to change the width. It's a variable width option. I can come up, say, to this one right here and begin clicking on that one, maybe move it down, put another point, say, right about there. I can change these just simply by going to them and double-clicking and doing it by the math if I want to. Or I can go to the little anchor points like right about here and begin changing it and getting very specific on what I want this thing to be. These are really fun to work with. They really are. And we can put as many points on here as we want, do as anything we want. Let's go ahead and change the color though. Let's go ahead and select that and come over here and give that a little bit of a darker green maybe. Something like that. Okay, let's go into our stem and do the same thing. Go ahead and select it. Maybe make it a little bit thicker, maybe something like that. You know what? I like this one, but I don't really remember exactly everything that I did, and I want to apply it to this one over here. If you'll notice down here, we have a profile. It's also up here if you want to use it from up here. And the profile, this is the one we just did. It's called custom. I would like to apply custom to this one over here. So what I'll do first, if I click this button, I can go down to this button right here and add to profiles. That will be mine. And I'll call it leaf on flower. Click OK. If we select this one over here now, let's go ahead and go into here. Now notice it says uniform, because it is. It's a uniform stroke. If we come down here, you do have other ones that we can choose. But if we go all the way down, eventually you're going to see this one right here, which is leaf on flower. That's ours. And if we select it, it doesn't look like it's really doing that much. But we have to change the weight right here. And as we increase the weight, you will notice it changes right there. Notice it doesn't preserve the color. That's up to you. So if you want to put the color back on that stroke, you can do that too. Using variable width strokes adds one more creative element to working in Adobe Illustrator. And I want to tell you, that's a pretty flower. On to the next.